Hello, my friends. Welcome. Jill here, and I'm excited to bring you our session this week for our Q&A, like we do every week in our Empowered Fitness community for women 40 plus. Looking to get energized, confident, and strong. This is where I answer all of your questions regarding fitness, nutrition, weight loss, menopause, all the things. And if you have a question that you want to ask while I'm on here or afterwards, just go ahead and pop it in the comments below. In the meantime, I'll tell you the format that we use for our weekly Q&A sessions. They can actually all be found, all the prior ones can be found in the guide section of this group if you're interested in binge watching. Better than Netflix. You'll get lots of answers, lots of amazing nuggets of information to help you along your journey, and it'll show you that there's so many women in here who are feeling the same things that you are. And so let's see, a couple of announcements today. So I can't believe we're in December. The holidays are here, and we've had a really great start to our holiday shred cash challenge. I can't tell you when my next challenge is going to be. We're going to be focusing on my Empowered Fitness Mastery program for the next couple months, filling up spots in there, especially as we go into the new year. January is always a big time for personal trainers and nutrition coaches. And so I always say that if you have a goal, you better get started on it now. The next best time to yesterday is today or tomorrow. But we don't want to wait to get started on our journey, because generally if that's around the holidays, what happens is I see people just put off all the good healthy habits and start to, or continue to do the bad habits. And then they start to get worse in those bad habits during the holidays, thinking that if they binge on all the food and they just don't do any of the workouts, that they'll start January 1st. But what happens is that leads to excess weight being put on, excess illness, and being susceptible to more illness, especially around the holiday season when we're seeing more people who we aren't used to their germs. We're in closer spaces because maybe it's cold out, we aren't outside as much. And so what I see is those people who put off their fitness goals to the new year don't even start in the new year. So I would say, if anything, at least let's have a chat, you and I offer a free one-on-one private chat with me to everybody in this group, so that you and I can get to know each other, that we can get comfortable, and that we can figure out what's going on with you and what's going to actually create change within you. And that way you have a clue and you have a plan. And whether it's starting with something small or doing my full Empowered Fitness Mastery program, we will get you going in the right direction, I promise, with some kind of tools, okay? And lots of support and love. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I've got probably about 20 ladies in my spreadsheet here, and I'm just going to read across and let you know what's going on with these ladies. And maybe you have some of the same things. If we see some commonalities in what's holding you back from your fitness and nutrition, then I'll pause and I'll take some time to discuss those things. And so let's just go across and see what everybody says real quick. Hi, Teresa. Teresa's on live. She let me know she's on live. I love when people tell me if they're here. I love when people tell me if they watch the replay. I want to know that you watched and you got this amazing information. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. So Jill says hormones are holding her back. Now I'm excited. I have a call with Jill on Friday. And so I can't wait to get to know Jill. I know she told me last night that she's a teacher. She's got a lot going on, and I can't wait to hear, because her question here is, why is nothing working? So I know she works with special ed kids, and that can create a lot of stress. And so I told her last night, like, praise you, because that stress, when you have hormonal weight gain, stress is going to be the main driver. And so we have to learn how to manage that stress and do everything that our body wants to relax our nervous system so that we can move on. It's kind of like I always say, it's either stress or weight loss. We're on the train and you can go one way or the other, but you can't split the train and go both ways. Okay. Chrissy says menopause has been holding her back. Michelle, who I think I also have a call with coming up, and Lisa both said knowledge is holding them back. So lack of knowledge, what to do. Emily says lack of motivation to meal prep and exercise. Marilyn says she's got an injury. Michelle says life is holding her back. May says that the way she eats is holding her back. Sherry says motivation. Velma says nothing's holding her back. Let's see. Sonia says lack of support. So I want to stop and address that one because we're here for you, right? We're here, Sonia. I'm here for you. And we've got a great community of women here for you. If you're talking about support at home, I don't care. You don't have to have support at home because you've got to do what's good for you, right? If you don't have a supportive family, then too bad for them. You've got to look out for number one and not let other people's lack of support get in your way. Oftentimes when we look out for ourselves, people will see that, they'll respect it, and then they will come around or they won't. And you know, what can you do? You got to look out for yourself because if you're using others' lack of support for you as the reason why you're not going to get results, then guess what? You are never going to get results. And that would be too bad. Okay. Let's see. Christine says she doesn't really know what's holding her back. Melee is saying that money and courage, I love that, courage is holding her back. Let's infuse some courage. You got to show up for your call, girl, in order to get that courage, because you know what I think is that knowledge is power. So when we start by gaining the knowledge of knowing what to do, then we have a whole lot more strength and courage moving forward, taking action when we know that the things that we're doing are the right things. Let's see, Julie says she doesn't know where to start, so a call with me would be a great place to start. And Sandra says that menopause too is holding her back. And so I want you to know, number one, those of you who say menopause, knowledge, hormones is holding you back, it doesn't have to, not at all, okay? Nobody has to be held back by menopause. The thing that holds you back when it comes to menopause is not knowing what to do about it, not knowing what to change now that you're in a new stage of life. Somebody I was on a call with the other day had said that everything that she used to do is suddenly not working. And she had told me that, you know, menopause hit and the scale started creeping up, but she's still doing all the same stuff and it's not working anymore. That's because you have to change what you're doing. And especially if it's not working, then you have to change what you're doing, okay? So let's go back to some individual questions here. So going back to Jill, we've got to figure out, now she asks, why is nothing working? And so, like I said, Jill and I have one of my game plan calls scheduled for Friday. And what we need to figure out with her is, number one, what are we doing, right? So I'm going to ask her some questions about her nutrition, what she eats on a daily basis. I'm going to ask her about her workout routine. I'm going to ask her about her sleep and her stress and what's going on. And I'm sure that we're going to find the little things that are all contributing to nothing working. Chances are she hasn't tried certain things or she only knows certain things. Sometimes people are always chasing the latest fads, and that tends to not work for people. It might work for a little amount of time, but then it wears off and then we realize it's not sustainable or it's just not realistic, and then we see the weight come back. So I think what we can do is we can figure out what the root cause is, what we're doing now. We can make some changes and we can start some new things. We can get into a really solid new plan, and we can give her some knowledge of what's gonna be necessary while she's got this hormonal change going on. And then she's gonna start seeing some amazing results and be super excited, feel super motivated, and realize that there was really nothing wrong, that we just needed the right plan, okay? Let's see, who is this? Chrissy. Chrissy says, why is it so hard to lose weight? I exercise and eat pretty healthy. So we need to have the right combo. Kind of tough, right? We have to have the exact right combo, especially because she says she's going through menopause. She wants to lose 10 pounds. Why is it so hard to lose weight? We got to do the right things. Again, if I see or if I talk to a woman and she's going through menopause and she says to me, somebody said this to me the other day, I eat hardly anything and I'm on the treadmill 6 days a week. Why can't I lose weight? because that's the exact opposite of what I would tell somebody to do in order to lose weight who's in menopause, right? I would say lift heavy weights, get your body into create a new body with lots of lean muscle mass that's going to raise your metabolism, that's going to make your body more efficient, that's going to burn more calories while you rest, and stop stressing it out with so much cardio. Because especially if you're not eating enough, then your body's not being supported and you're not supporting all of that exercise. And so you may need to eat a ton more, and you may need to cut back on that cardio and focus on that strength training that is progressive, that is exciting, that is really giving you some new changes. And then what you're gonna see is that it's not as difficult, and it's not hard to stay on a meal plan when you're eating tons of food, right? It's hard to stay on a meal plan when you're depriving yourself and relying on deprivation and starvation diets and cutting out food groups. Much harder to stay on track. What happens is the more we start to deprive ourselves, the more we end up eating the not so healthy things. Another point that I make quite often is that healthy eating is not the same as eating for transformation, body transformation, or weight loss, right? And so I don't necessarily consider myself a weight loss coach. I consider myself a fat loss transformation coach, because it's possible that your scale might go up as you start to get smaller if we're creating the body that you really want, one that's energized, confident, and strong, right? And so what we want to do is build this body that really carries us through life, that gives us energy, that makes us feel amazing and confident. And you're going to feel that when you fuel properly and when you exercise properly. When it comes to losing weight, I will tell you that yesterday, what I saw in my holiday shred was somebody was eating bananas as a snack, which is not in the meal plan that I created for these women going through menopausal changes or hormonal changes in this 3-week shred plan where I'm trying to help them lose weight, get more firm. And so I did not include fruit as snacks. This person got hungry and reached for a banana, which is a very high glycemic fruit. So the blood sugar spikes, and then you start to retain your belly fat because of the cortisol spike that creates. And so that's when this is not going to work the same as if you had followed my plan and gotten the right amount of carbs, but the right carbs that I chose. And so part of this is that knowledge, gaining knowledge, understanding when is a good time for fruit, when it's not, and how, a meal plan works when we put things together, how different frameworks work for different people. And so it's just interesting just to note sometimes that healthy eating or pretty healthy eating does not always equate to weight loss if that's what you're looking for. In that case, you need to have somebody who really understands what they're doing, explain to you why we would make the food choices we would, and create a meal plan that will fit your particular goal. If we want a very quick 3-week shred, then I am not filling your day with a ton of fruit. Even though it has a lot of great nutrients, it is going to be spiking your blood sugar, and we want to create that blood sugar regulation, okay? Keep that in your mind, right? What I'd rather have you do is, so today what I did is I showed everybody how to make my high protein snack balls. I don't know what I call them, cookie dough or brownie bite balls. And that is high protein, it's got fat, but it doesn't have the high sugar content. And that's gonna actually hold somebody over better and not let that blood sugar spike. And so it's very interesting, right? How we have a new choice for that food. And from what I've seen in the last 2 days, I lost 3 pounds after day 1 and 1 more pound since yesterday. And I attribute it to this fat burning meal plan, which, by the way, if you don't have that fat burning meal plan and you did not sign up for the Holiday Shred Cash Challenge, there is a place where you can get it. So I added that meal plan into my Foods for Fat Loss Macros program, which is a DIY, do-it-yourself, so a self-led program on my website, on JillOrtizFitness.com. And it's under the programs tab. And so you can either purchase that on its own, which is, I think, $49 or somewhere around there, or you can get it as part of the Black Friday Cyber Monday bundle, which is an amazing value at only $99. You not only get that macros program with the fat shedding meal plan, you also get 4 of my 5-day kickstart cleanses and my 20 workouts from Jill's Killer Abs. You get it all forever for just $99. And that's where you can get that awesome meal plan that I'm using for the next 3 weeks. And so are my challengers. And I've lost 4 pounds in the last 2 days, which is awesome. All right. Okay. Michelle wants to know, how do I get rid of belly fat? So if that is due to your cortisol spiking, which that's what happens when we hit menopause, when we hit perimenopause, is the hormones that we used to have, our estrogen and our progesterone, used to help us with insulin resistance. And now that they are decreasing in the amount in your body, they're no longer helping us to ward off that cortisol, which tends to create belly fat storage. And so that's why we now have to do extra to help ourselves, which means that we have to be careful with our sugars and our carbs. We have to be careful with our alcohol. We want to still have plenty of calories, so we've got to up the protein because we don't really want to up the fat, but we want to have more protein instead of the more carbs. And then we also want to lift heavy because that's going to actually help with those hormones. It's going to give us that similar estrogen, source through that heavy lifting, and it's going to help us build the body that will do the work that our estrogen and progesterone are no longer helping us with. Okay. All right. So that would be one way to get rid of belly fat, is to up your protein, up your lifting, and get your carbs in check, get your calories at the right level, and what else? Healthy whole foods, right? In the right amounts. Okay. Lisa wants to know, why does menopause cause women to gain weight, and why is it so hard to take the weight off? So again, this is kind of the same thing. We now don't have the estrogen and progesterone to help regulate that cortisol and our blood sugar regulation. And so we have to do more. So if you don't do more, right? If you don't incorporate that lifting, if you don't take more care in your nutrition, if you don't take more care in your sleep, recovery, and stress reduction, then you are not doing what you need to do to prevent this weight gain. What we also see, another factor, is that as we age from our 30s on, we start to lose a good 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade. And so that compounds over time. And then when we hit 50, that goes to that 8 to 10% per decade. And so you are losing your lean muscle mass, which means your metabolism is going to decrease. So if you're not doing the things that would increase it, like build muscle mass, then you are going to see a shift in your shape. And so that's when you're gonna maybe lose your waist and see that grow. You're gonna see all the fat start to gather in your butt and your thighs, and you're going to just see your muscle tone that you used to have decrease, and it's gonna make you feel like, hey, where'd that flab come from that I didn't have before, okay? All right, moving on. If you have any questions, just drop them below. Hi, Sandy, Darcy, Jennifer, Stephanie. Hello. Hi. Okay, how to meal prep. This is from Emily. How to meal prep and move when you are not in the mood. I don't care if you're in the mood. If I only was intimate with my husband when I was in the mood, that might never happen, right? Sometimes we're just not in the mood, but we got to get in the mood. So what are things that would get you in the mood to work out? Music, right? How about just putting on your favorite song? One of my favorite pump up songs This started when I was in spin classes at the gym. Every time it's the Kesha Pitbull song, Timber. Anytime that song would come on, it was like my feet just got super fast on my spin pedals, and I'd just get into the groove and I'd have so much fun. So music is something that changes our physiological state, right? So if I'm here, I'm in a slump, and somebody starts blasting like my favorite music, I wake up and I'm like ready to go, ready to move, right? Also, a body in motion stays in motion. So if you start doing the work, right? Sometimes I come down, I'm a little tired. Once I just pick up the weights and start doing the work, then the blood starts pumping, my airways open up, and I'm just more in it and ready to go. So just start working, put on some music. And another thing I do is every morning when I wake up, I take my supplements that have a little bit of caffeine. So 100 milligrams of caffeine in my Fit. It's a little stick pack. It's orange creamsicle flavor. It also serves as my pre-workout, which gets me going. And then my recovery as well to prevent soreness afterwards. I love the taste. And it just gets me ready. It's my routine. So that's a big thing too, is having your routine, getting your body ready and knowing that when you wake up or when you come home from work or at night after dinner or whenever it is, whatever time of day works for you, and it has to be something that works consistently, when your body gets used to that, it just naturally gets ready, right? You know how like when you get hungry, or kind of like Pavlov's dog, he heard the bell ring and he started salivating and he knew it was time to eat. We need those cues sometimes. So when I wake up, my body knows we want to move. It's time to work out, right? So you got to create that habit, not rely on your mood to be perfect. Same thing with meal prepping. You know, there's times when I come home from being out with my family on a Sunday afternoon, and the last thing I want to do is make all my food for the week. But guess what? That's a priority. Knowing that if I don't do it, I might not succeed during the week. If my food's not ready and I'm grabbing at things I shouldn't eat, then that's something that when you have a goal, when you have commitment, then you do the things whether you want to do them or not. If I only went to work on days that I wanted to go to work, I wouldn't be making any money, right? So sometimes we do things that we don't always want to do. If the kids only went to school on the days they wanted to go to school, the kids wouldn't learn anything, right? So sometimes we just got to get in the groove. We got to do things when we say we're going to do them. Put it in your calendar. Set it as an appointment. I have a new client, which is actually the daughter of my client Pilar, who has lost over 55 pounds with me. And her 16-year-old daughter started with me a couple days ago with nutrition coaching. And Pilar and I had Pilar's check-in today, a check-in coaching call. And I asked her how her daughter was doing. And she said, well, she didn't do her activity today. And I told her daughter, we got to do 30 minutes a day, like all the days. That's just a minimum requirement for good health, that, you know, the US or the World Health or whoever says you got to get 30 minutes of movement in each day. And for kids, it's actually supposed to be more. We want to get at least like 7 hours in the week, if possible, of vigorous activity. And so I said to her, I said, you got to remind her, she's going to have to put this in her calendar, whether it's her phone or make a note on the fridge. She's got to commit to a time so that she doesn't say, oh, I didn't have time. I ran out of time. I got busy. Other things came up. I got up too late. I don't care. You got to commit. And if you want a result, then you have to stick to your commitment, okay? You have to make that something like a doctor's appointment that you don't miss, okay? I don't care if you're in the mood or not. You do the work, right? Ooh, tough coach. All right. Michelle also asked, how do I lose weight during menopause? Now, for those of you who have not done it, my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot is a really great way to start learning all the things, nutrition, fitness, stress management, all the things that you need to do and what's going on with your body. I didn't include the link here, but I'll drop it in here as well. learning what your body needs and then taking action, staying consistent, staying accountable, something that we can talk about as well. Michelle says her excuse as to why she's not getting results is life. And I don't like that excuse because we've got to work this in. This has got to be a priority. Let me see. My life is busy too. Do you see all the things that I have going on this week? I got to go pick my kids up from school early today, and then I got to take them to the dentist, and then when we get home, I got to make them dinner, and then I got to take one of my kids to a high school open house, right? So, busy day. I had to do a bunch of things today too. Every day is a million things, right? When you're a soccer mom, when you're busy, when you got a lot of things to do, and when you work and all those things. And so what helps me is mapping it out every week. I map my life out, right? So I start with life. I go through my phone because I keep everything in my phone. That calendar is everything. We also have a whiteboard on our fridge now where we put down important things like soccer games, open houses, my golf schedule, my husband's travel, junior honor society days where my son has to be to school early. It's all on the fridge. Otherwise, everything is in my phone, soccer games. And so I start with my life every week and I put all the things that I have going on. And then I put in when my workouts are going to be. And so if I have golf on Tuesday, then I knew that today I had to actually double up on my abs workout. And so things need to be placed at the right time, right? And so I got to make sure I'm doing the work. And then based on that too, I make my meal plan for the week. And so I needed to know, right? So last night we were running from away soccer game. We had to come home. We literally had 10 minutes to eat as an entire family before we all headed out to a high school open house. So if I had not made those chicken cutlets the night before, had broccoli ready to throw in a pan to saute and steam, and if my dinner, my turkey meat sauce over spaghetti squash, had not been ready to just pop in the microwave for 2 minutes, we would not have gotten that meal eaten and out the door in 10 minutes. I literally made dinner, ate dinner in 10 minutes. The whole family, all of us, had good balanced meals, carbs, protein, veggies, and we're out the door so we didn't miss too much of this open house. So I don't take busy life as an excuse. We all have busy lives. Maybe not everything gets done in a day. Maybe the dishes sit, maybe the laundry sits, but your health and wellness, your goals cannot sit. They have too much bearing on everything else that's going to go down in your life. All right. Thumbs up on that one. Okay. All right. Hi, Jennifer. I think I already said hi. Hi, Sandy. I think I already said hi. All right, Ruth. Oh, I love this question. Ruth says, how do I rebuild muscle? You lift heavy. You lift heavier than you did the week before. I'm going to grab another little thing over here. Actually, do I have one here? I got piles of papers everywhere. All right. Coming back. This is Jill's leg day, right? This was last week's leg day, and this is this week's leg day that I did today. And I look at last week and I say, what did I do last week? I have to beat myself this week. And then next week, I have to beat myself this week, right? And so that is how you are going to rebuild muscle, is lifting heavier, more, different techniques, changing things up. This is only 3 weeks, right? And then we move on to a new technique. And so all of my programs that I build are all muscle building. They're to transform your body. They're either 3 or 4 weeks in duration, and we change it up. But throughout those 3 to 4 weeks, we have got to be progressing. We have got to overload. We call that progressive overload. You have got to be pushing your muscles to the max, or else they don't change. They might tone, but they won't build. And that build is what we're looking for because we are losing it. Remember? We're losing muscle mass, so we have to rebuild it. And so that's going to be one thing, is that progressive overload, changing your technique, giving yourself the proper rest time. As we get older, we need more rest and recovery. We also need to, one of my clients said she had a lot of soreness this week, so she did not show up for her next workouts. And I said, no, we don't ever not show up because we're sore. We'll work through that, right? Because I'm giving you separate body parts. So if you're sore in your biceps, it doesn't matter because you're using your legs today, okay? But we still show up regardless of soreness. I go through her check-in form and I see she did not hydrate herself properly for the week. I said, okay, so that's a big indicator as well. We've got to be hydrating, we've got to be stretching, we've got to be getting plenty of sleep, and we've got to be fueling the muscles. You also might need to take some ibuprofen or Motrin if you're very new to something, a new program or a new technique. And then the other big thing is I absolutely believe in supplementation. So branch chain amino acids are the lifter's rebuilding supplement, right? It's proteins, it's carbs, and you're having it within 30 minutes of finishing a workout, or like the new one I started taking, I drink it prior to my workout and it gives me energy and helps with recovery. So there's two different products that I love for muscle recovery, but they both have these, what are called amino acids, these chains, branch chain amino acids, these change of the right amino acids, which are tiny little proteins found in nature. You bring them together and they help you to prevent your muscles from breaking down, and they help rebuild them. And so these for me are super important because I want me and my clients, you, to be able to come back day after day with the same excitement and fresh muscles to do the hard work that will get you the results. Okay? That's how we rebuild muscle. Sherry wants to know, does anyone actually lose weight after 50? Yes, my clients can tell you that here. We lose weight after 50. Let's see. Velma says, I work out and eat right. Perimenopause is hit and I feel I'm gaining weight. What do I need to do during this time? Follow the menopausal metabolism reboot, lift heavy, eat plenty. Be careful with your carbs, eat more protein, and come to your call with Jill and we'll get you going in the right direction, okay? Sonia, how to stop the sweets at night? Eat sweets. So that's what I did for my clients today, is I taught them how to make the protein balls that I make. Simply protein powder, peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate chips or raisins or both, and a little splash of almond milk. Super easy. I make them and then I roll them into balls. So I made 8 vanilla and 8 chocolate today. So that's 16 of them, and I put them in a container and I put them in the freezer. And if I need a tiny little snack, then that's where I start. I start with 1. And if that's not enough, I give it maybe a half hour and I can go back for a second one. It's not going to break the bank. It's protein, healthy fat, and not a ton of calories when you're just having a tiny little one about that big. And so that's what I would do personally to stop the sweets at night. I also have a pomegranate green tea supplement that I like to put in my water. That helps me. And the last one is my sleepytime hot chocolate. That is something I can count on having every night. It's only 15 to 20 calories depending on the flavor. It helps me sleep, get really great sleep, and it's chocolate. So that's one of my favorite things. I'll drop that link here as well if you want to buy some of that. It's amazing. I don't know if the sale's still going on. It was 50% off yesterday. Could still be 50% off today, but I'm not sure. That's also where I get my greens supplement. Okay, we got a couple more questions. I'm going to squeeze them in. Christine says, looking for the right fit. She's not sure what to do. So best way to find the right fit in terms of a program and trainer is to watch things like this, right? Go to my YouTube, go to my website, or whoever else you might be coming across. I'm sure there's more of me out there, maybe not as cool and amazing and dedicated, but listen to them. Figure out if they're saying things that you believe, right? Would you go to a doctor and keep going to a doctor that every time you go, you're like, I don't believe this guy. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. No, you wouldn't go back, right? So you got to feel like it's a good fit. If they offer a free one-on-one like I do, take them up on it, schedule a free one-on-one call, and then see if you're comfortable, right? Now, something that I don't like is when people get me on a call and then they like hard sell and they make me cry and feel really bad about myself. I don't like when I don't trust somebody, or if I feel super skeptical sometimes, and maybe I'm just a skeptical person, but I have to feel like it's a good fit. And generally when I'm on calls with potential clients, we kind of know if we're a good fit, right? They like what I'm saying. They feel like I relate to them. They feel like they can trust me. And that's what I think makes a good fit, is somebody who you believe in their systems and you believe that they're out for good reason and that they're in their field for the right reasons, and that you feel that it would be a good fit, and that maybe they don't make you feel uncomfortable at all, but give you that comfort when you have a call with them. How to overcome menopause when it comes to eating, we discussed that. Julie wants to know how to lose weight, and Sandra wants to know how to lose weight during menopause. So everybody has the same questions, and I think I've gone over them. So a couple of action items for you. Number one, you can check out my Black Friday Cyber Monday bundle with all of those amazing tools that you can get started with on your own. So it's super cheap, $99, because I don't have to coach you. I don't have to do much. It's just there for you with all the amazing tools that are in that bundle for fitness and nutrition. Good place to start if you just need something to start with. That's on the lower end of the costs. You can also kind of pick and choose the little pieces of those things. All those things are on my website, jillortizfitness.com/programs, or you just click the DIY programs tab at the top of jillortizfitness.com, and you can like pick one or two or one little thing if you need even less cost to start. The other thing you can do is the Menopausal Metabolism Reboot. Again, I will link that here for you if you are struggling with how to lose weight during menopause. It gives you the exact information that you need, all of the knowledge, the protocol, and the action steps, and the accountability to it. And then, what was the third thing? Oh, book a call with me, and we can talk about what the best action step for you is, and we can figure out, maybe even give you some answers right on the call as to what's going on and some minor things that you can start changing right away. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.